I had a little bit of an issue with it, and I said, say it again, and he did. And right hook sent him down.
He hit him, and he fell.
He hit him?
Yeah.
This is Corey Ellis Pujols, a 27-year-old Dunkin' Donuts manager with no criminal record. He just landed a deadly blow on a 77-year-old man, and that singular act was just enough to ruin his clean records, claim the life of a man, and earn him significant charges. On May 4th, 2021, just after 1:30 p.m., Tampa police were called to a Dunkin' Donuts inside a Circle K in the Palm River area of Tampa. When officers arrived, medics were already treating the victim, 77-year-old Vanell Cook, who was unconscious and bleeding from the head. I came in from the truck. You can see our arms. I have an altercation with one of the employees.
And I guess it was spilled, and I remember in here he was. My neighbor here was Denver Street, Tampa, Florida, 33619.
What happened? I don't know what happened. I was there. He was actually there. Don't check the D on it. He was toothpaste and he fell down.
Which kid? He has heart problems. He's 100% disabled.
Florida law turns this case into a study of three things: the limits of self-defense, the weight the law gives to a vulnerable victim, and the boundaries of prosecutorial discretion.
Disabled veteran. Disabled veteran. He's got allergies. He's seen allergy test. What do you have?
Almost immediately, Corey Pujols approached the officers and told them he was the man they were looking for. Calm and cooperative, he explained exactly what happened.
So first and foremost, let me just say my name is Corey Ellis Pujols. I am the guy you were looking for in regards to this situation. The long and short of it is that here obviously at Dunkin', he's a regular. He normally comes through here and orders a large hot coffee, but today maybe he's having a rough day or something, and he decided to be extremely profound at the mouth. And I asked him respectfully on the microphone, could you please not use that kind of language, obviously with me and my employees, and as well as that, and he said no, and then he came around to the window, he kept going at the window, and then I guess he was going to come inside, so I came along this side to let him know. He asked for the manager. Our current store manager is off already. She worked morning shift, and she's currently otherwise here, so I would be for the senior shift. I've been here a little bit longer than he has, so I reserve responsibility for that. In any case, I came out to let him know. I said, listen, sir, with the profanity that you use, I would highly recommend that you go on about your business. We don't want to serve you any coffee today. Maybe you can try again another day, but you have clearly upset, the atmosphere here, and we would like for you to go on about your business. I asked him to do that repetitively. It's all on camera. As I mentioned, he came inside, and when he came inside, he addressed me, and he was looking. I said, hey, listen, the manager's not here right now. I'll give you the manager's store number and all that good stuff. And he didn't want it, and I said, sir, well, can you please go on about your business again and have a good day? And he said, no, you're a nigger. And then I said, and I'm sorry, I had a little bit of an issue with it, and I said, say it again, and he did. And right hook sent him down.
So it goes without being said that you can't hit somebody because they say something you don't like.
I very well.
I'm just telling you, brother.
No, I agree. Believe me. I'm terrified right now, but I agree with what you're saying. You shouldn't. I have had a fit of racism since I've only been here about 2 months, and I've dealt with so much of it. And I'm not saying that is a reason to do it. I'm not.
I got people that say a bunch of hateful and horrible stuff to me every single day. For the past 16 years, I let it go in one ear and out the other. It ain't gonna hurt you. This will get you in trouble. Not gonna get you arrested, but I mean, dude, you hit him and he fell down.
Yeah, and he hit his head pretty good.
And he should have never said what he said. But guess what? That's the country we live in. You say what you want to say.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, like you're saying, dude, get the freak out.
Yeah. 1 second. You slipped and fall, pushed and fell.
Right hook and fell. My apologies for the
He was hit and he fell down.
Keep down. I don't this other. You hit him. You punched him and he fell.
I'm not one to run from what I've done.
No, you're fine.
And again, he's a regular, so I honestly feel like about this situation.
All right, no worries. Some guys have to go at you.
Yes, sir. You too. Take it easy.
Howdy. Gentleman came in, he being very rude to this gentleman, which is the on-duty manager.
Acting manager for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Said some few expletives, and he hit him, and he fell.
He hit him?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get his information yet or no?
I have not. I just came in and...
That's his grandson that's with him, though.
Okay.
That is his grandson.
I was just
They
talking
give
with
you
him.
that information if necessary.
So, yeah, you want to grab his 43?
I have...
Video of it?
We do have surveillance. However, when the boss leaves, she locks the.
That's fine.
Yeah, she locks the.
So here's the reality of what could happen.
Yeah.
If you charge a battery, yeah, you could be charged a battery.
Right.
That's after we speak with him and see what's going on.
I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get on to you, man.
Yeah. No.
You can't let, and I'm telling you from here on out, you can't let what somebody says anger you.
Yeah.
Said I deal with it and I let it go on. I mean, people say nasty and hateful stuff to him and I just
believe
because we
me,
do our job.
I know.
For no reason.
I know it.
You're gonna have people like that throughout your life. You just gotta let it go in one ear and right out the other. And just realize that he's gonna leave and be on his way, and you're gonna still be here working.
Right.
You know. So we'll let them get him loaded up and everything like that. Just do what you gotta do, bro. I'll be in here in a minute.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
You're cool. You're good to go, man. Thank you.
Florida Statute Section 784.03 defines battery as an intentional touching or striking against another person's will. Florida Statute Section 784.08 elevates that same act to a third-degree felony when the victim is 65 years of age or older. Florida Statute Section 782.07 creates the charge of aggravated manslaughter when an elderly or disabled victim dies as a result of that conduct. That charge carries a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. Florida's Self-Defense Statute, Section 776.013, removes any duty to retreat when a person reasonably believes force is necessary to prevent imminent unlawful force against them. Florida courts have consistently held that verbal provocation alone, no matter how offensive, does not meet that legal threshold. Words are not force. This is the doctrine known informally as mere words are not enough. That distinction is the entire legal center of this case. A justified fear of physical harm can support self-defense. Anger at an insult cannot. The statutory scheme also explains why the same physical act carried two very different charges. Before the victim died, prosecutors could only charge battery on an elderly person. After his death 3 days later from a skull fracture and brain contusions, the charge became aggravated manslaughter. Florida law recognizes that identical force can be survivable for one person and fatal for another.
So basically, he was just being, outright rude on your card is going through. But he was just being
For what reason?
outright verbal. I asked him if he wanted iced or hot coffee. He instantly was like cold coffee. Confident. He was like, who the fuck likes cold coffee? I always ask the same. Y'all always get it wrong. I'm like, okay, sir, we cannot hear and identify you at the window.
So he got mad because you asked him if he wanted ice or hot coffee.
Yeah. Instantly off rip, he was already mad. A large hot latte. Okay, gotcha. So instantly he was just,
Sure.
above level. So he was being very verbal. Didn't want to listen to what we were saying. So Corey was like, he got on the mic because I've only been here for like just 3 weeks.
Sure.
But I've had Dunkin' experience, so
Well, that shouldn't be a normal reaction of somebody.
it shouldn't be a normal reaction. So he didn't want to. Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so yeah, he was being really verbal for absolute no reason. So Corey got on the mic because he's the veteran here, the more experienced person.
Sure.
So he took over the mic and was like, "Can you not talk to the customer employees like that?" And he wouldn't listen. So we said, "Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna take your order today. We're gonna politely ask you to leave." Came up here, he had a verbal like, can you leave and like took the order type of thing right here. We were reassuring him that he could come again later. So then that's when he came up to the front and it was right there.
So even after y'all asked him to leave,
He kept on coming.
he parked, and when you say up there, up at the front counter.
Yeah, he came to the car. So we knew Corey was gonna. So me and Corey went up there to wait and tell him to leave again. He didn't want to listen again, so we asked him to leave multiple times, and that's when he called Corey the N-word, and it escalated from there.
What did you see happen from there?
From what I seen is I heard him telling Corey told me to call the cops off rip. So I was calling the cops, I was calling my manager, I was calling everybody. And the dude he kept on being violent, very rude. So
When you say violent, like physically violent,
no,
or just verbally?
I don't think he physically touched Corey, but mentally, trying to get into Corey's mind.
Sure.
And, mess with him and around with his head. So then Corey, he was like, okay, we're gonna ask you one more time. We're gonna either you're gonna leave or we're gonna call the cops. I was already calling the cops, so he didn't want to leave. He was like, there's a bunch of niggas, this, that, and third, your nicknames. Corey was like, one more time, and he called him another nick, and that's what happened. I was right here, and I was on the phone with my manager and the police officers at that time. Oh wait, yeah, police officer at that time, and that's what happened.
So what happened after that? After he said that?
Corey punched him. He was on the floor, and I was on the phone.
Okay, and you were standing like
right around here on the phone.
Okay. Is he? And Corey said he's a normally regular. He comes through
He
here.
comes here a lot, and he's very, like verbal. Like I guess he doesn't know how to, be respectful. So
Well, normal people know how to be respectful, and choose not to be.
He wasn't being respectful.
Yeah, I mean it's
and
horrible.
Yeah, so he does this a lot. I've had multiple times where I've had to go through it. He gets mad because we don't know his order. But we don't know your order because we cannot physically see your face.
Sure. Hello, manager?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to A, I got a thumb drive, or B, if we're able to get the video, can you email it? What's better for you?
I'll have it emailed to you.
Okay.
I'll have my law prevention guy
Okay.
send it to you.
Let me go out and.
Give me an email address.
Yes, sir.
I'll call him now, as a matter of fact, to go ahead and get him to do it.
Okay.
Under this framework, Corey Pujols earns a grade of D+. His decision to remain at the scene and accept responsibility is a mitigating factor. But striking an elderly man in response to speech, not a physical threat, falls outside any recognized self-defense standard. Vanell Cook's own conduct earns a failing grade for the encounter itself. Repeated refusals to leave and escalating verbal abuse created the volatility that led to his death. None of that conduct, however, legally justified the force used against him. The state attorney's office earns a grade of C. Reducing an aggravated manslaughter charge to felony battery reflects genuine uncertainty about how a jury would weigh provocation and self-defense. But a case ending in death with no prison time will always invite public scrutiny.
And it feels better in here. I'm sorry, this man, you're going to Yeah.
They told me what happened. I feel for you 100% right now. What having accepted is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. I understand your anger and your level of frustration. That would be pissed too. And this is one of those things that there's one thing that's steering us right now, and it's the level of this. He's in critical condition right now. It's not looking good. He has his brain swelling right now. He's unconscious and everything. So I'm going to pray for you and for him that he recovers. If he recovers and he's okay, this is not big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's the level of injury. Had he not been this injured, there's a lot of things he could have done. Because like I said, nobody here is okay with what that guy said. And none of us would know. all, you know. And he deserves to put in place for that. But because of how seriously he's injured, we have no choice. I want you to understand that. Everybody here agrees that what was done to you was wrong. What he said to you was wrong. You have to how he like I said, he's not in there. So I'm going to pray for you and for him that he recovers, that will just hopefully go away. But for the time being, you're going to be charged with 1 count of battery on the elderly male, which is over 65 years of age. You'll have a bond, so it's not going to be too high. You'll be able to bond out tonight at some point. And then we'll just pray all of us. This guy recovers and everything will work itself out. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything you have that you want somebody to say here?
His kids. I'm his mom.
That's fine. Mom, you want to step over here and we grab all this stuff?
Get that right.
Do you want a bag? Ma'am, do you want a bag? I can give you a bag for all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one in here, or if you got one, that's fine.
Like I say, he'll get a bond, hopefully as fast as possible so he can get out and be done with it. But I mean, I called the state attorney's office, I spoke to all of our supervision, and it's just unfortunate, you know. I wish the guy had a black eye so he could all say, hey, watch your health, you know, but he's injured bad. It's just one of those things like it's a really sad situation. What can make it go best is the guy recovers. He knows the
I'm sorry. All right. Corey, you have anything else on you, brother?
No, that's it. Took everything else.
That's for mom.
Okay, that's it?
Right here. Yeah, that's for mom.
Yeah. So that's it for the copy?
Yes.
Yes.
Corey, come have a seat in my car real quick. Yes. Brother, what the detective was saying, we 100% agree. But when his head hit hard and everything, when they brought him out here, he was unconscious.
Yeah.
And then while he's up there, he's not doing good right now. He could get better, okay? So you go down, we'll tell mom. Mom can go down. Yeah, you do that and I'll 1035 you. Do they? Okay, that's fine. It's just a hope, brother, that he gets better.
Yeah.
Okay? I know that was not your intent.
It was not.
It wasn't. I know that. You told me that right off the bat, man. It would have been different if it would have progressed and there would have been more physical after that, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But everything, when something happens, everything is taken that happens in the entire situation. You know what I'm saying? So him falling, him getting the injury, him being elderly, again, he could be in the hospital and be completely fine by tomorrow. Okay? But we'll tell mom. Mom can come down and bond you out. It should be, I think, $1,000 bond or $100 to do a bondsman. She can come down and bond you out. And I'm sorry about this.
I'm sorry because I still think, no matter what anybody thinks of me, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't. I agree with everybody. I shouldn't.
Let me turn the air on for you. Let me talk to mom real quick. Okay.
The lesson here is narrow but important. Verbal abuse, however severe, does not convert a physical response into self-defense under Florida law. The law measures the same act differently depending on who absorbs it. Force that seems minor in the moment can carry the legal weight of a homicide once its consequences unfold. Let us know if there's an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out our second channel, Audit the Court, for even more police interaction and courtroom content.